Welcome back. 7 minutes to 7 is the time. At the age of just 20, Ollie Rofix was diagnosed with a rare form of leukemia that could have cost him his life. A worldwide search was mounted to find a bone marrow donor, only to discover his saviour lived just 1.5 hours away.
The moment Ollie Rofix met the stranger who saved his life.
Pleased to be of assistance. I really am. Thank you so much. That's quite all right, any time.
Just 20 years old and diagnosed with a rare form of leukemia, Ollie knew that without a bone marrow transplant he would die. Desperate for a donor, his family members were tested, but none of them were a match. He was placed on the donor register alongside 120,000 others. Of the 9 million registered donors worldwide, only 2 matches were found. Luckily, one of them was in Cambridgeshire. And 4 years after having his life-saving treatment, Ollie finally met the stranger that saved his life.
He's meeting him again this morning, as you can see. Now his hair's grown back in. Good to see you both. How was that meeting?
It was very strange, very strange, because how I used to see Matt originally was a bag of blood 4 years ago at the end of my hospital bed.
That's what he gave you?
Yes, yeah, so seeing him in person was absolutely fantastic.
And why was it important for you to do that?
It was very important because it was just all the emotional side of it, really, and also to promote what the Anthony Trust do. You know, without him, I wouldn't be here.
Sure, you're on the Anthony Nolan Trust register because someone had a similar problem at one stage.
That's correct. There was a young lady who lived near me who she had leukemia too, and they were looking for a donor for her, and they couldn't find one. Sadly, she died, leaving the young family, and that's when I decided that I was going to join the register. Very,
very good. And what an irony that after this worldwide search, you find this guy 1.5 hours away.
I know, the other possible chap was in America, so it was amazing that he was only up at Cambridge.
What did you have to do on his behalf? We've heard about the bag of blood, but tell us about, not in too much detail, the broad headlines of what you had to do.
Obviously there were several tests involved before we could go ahead with it, but in the end I went down to London to the London clinic, and I had the operation, which involved 6 needles being pushed into my pelvis to remove the bone marrow, and then given to Ollie here.
Any after effects for you?
It wasn't so, no, it was pretty good really. I just like a bad back, very mild bad back, and that was it. Yeah.
Well, it's a great sacrifice you made, and I know you're tremendously grateful. What about you now? How are you?
Very well, very well. The treatment, there's 1 or 2 niggly problems with the immune system. It will never be 100% again. But apart from that, I'm absolutely fighting fit.
Yeah, and it is, as we said, it's a very, very rare form of cancer. How
rare? Well, at the time, I was the 3rd known in the world to have this type. But apparently, sadly, the other 2 had died. So that was the whole reason why I had the transplant to hopefully cure this rare form, which still is undiagnosed.
Absolutely astonishing. I suppose initially you thought, well, it's a bit special having
I think it's quite good.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But then, of course, you found out the reality of it, and but for him, arguably, you wouldn't be here, would you?
Absolutely, yeah.
What?
I owe a lot to this chap.
And indeed to the Anthony Nolan Trust, who do a tremendous job, don't they?
Absolutely, yes, yeah.
It's been going for donkey's years. It started off with a little boy who was looking for that kind of treatment as well and didn't get it. But anyway, thank you both very much indeed. You're going to talk, I know, a little bit later on in our programme. Congratulations to you both for everything you've done.
How long did you have to stay in hospital despite out of
3 days.
3 days.
Find out how you can help save lives through organ donation. Read more about Ollie's story on our website, gm.tv.
Now, later